Ms. Divinese,
Here.
Mr. Balin,
Here.
Ms. Mazie,
Here.
Ms. Lopez,
Here.
Mr. Weissman.
Here.
Mr. Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Semrau is absent, Mr. Pasternak,
Here.
Mr. Henry,
Here.
and Ms. Bonzwich is here.
Notice of this meeting has been provided through resolution adopted by the mayor and council on December 15, 2025, at its regular meeting of the mayor and town council at the Boonton Town Hall, 100 Washington Street, Boonton, New Jersey, and by electronic mailing to the citizens of Morris County and the Del Ricker newspapers, through posting on the town website and by filing a copy of the same with town clerk. Members of the public were also permitted to submit written comments prior to the meeting via mail or email, which may be summarized or read in their entirety during the public comment period. All public comments, whether during the public portion of the meeting or submitted beforehand, shall be limited to no greater than 3 minutes. Okay. At this time, I'd like to share some unpleasant news. A longtime matriarch in our community, Helen Bucco, passed away over the weekend. She is the mother of Deputy Fire Chief Anthony Bucco. Excuse me, she's grandmother of Deputy Fire Chief Anthony Bucco. She's the mother of Senator Anthony Bucco and the widow of former Alderman, Mayor, Freeholder, Assemblyman, and Senator Bucco. So I would ask you to please join me in a moment of silence in honor of Mrs. Bucco. Thank you for that. May she rest in peace. Next up, we have Boonton Administrator and Committee Liaison Reports. I think it's going to be quick tonight. Starting with Administrator Neil Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. Highlights from the Administrator's Office for the time period of April 21st through today include the following. Search continues to replace the Town Administrator with a new Town Administrator, so I participated in that. We reviewed the 2026 paving projects with the new DPW Superintendent and their Water Utility Supervisor. We also had one more look at the 2026 capital projects with the Finance Committee. I did commence the spring 2026 performance evaluations. We secured a new plumbing inspector for our construction department and a temporary bus driver for our senior bus. And met with a resident of Hillside Avenue regarding a drainage matter. And as per usual, spent a fair amount of time dealing with ongoing personnel and litigation matters. That completes my report.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Administrator Henry?
Just one,
Sure.
do we have any update on the chairlift outside Town Hall?
That was been ordered. I think I said at the last meeting, it's going to be July.
July, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I will follow up on that, Ben, and let you know, but that was my last recollection.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's been a significant amount has been paid already, right?
Yes,
Okay.
$18,000.
Next up, Economic Development Special Projects, Councilmember Meehan.
Thank you, Mayor. The committee met last on April 23rd, went over a bunch of things that are going on. We reviewed the TAP grant. There was an information session held here at Town Hall on April 21st. About 20 people attended. There'll be a full-blown presentation presented to the council at the next meeting on May 18th. We finally made the Highlands agenda to review our grant efforts, so that's going to take place on June 18th. The NPP program, grant program, is winding down, and we're still working on obtaining previously awarded money. So hopefully we can get that wrapped up sooner than later. The community garden, we're finalizing town allocation for that, hopefully get that started. We're going to review that in the next finance meeting, which is scheduled for May 11th. Some of the projects we completed striping down at Upper Plain Street parking lot, waiting for a parking kiosk to be put in, which requires electricity from JCP&L. The Darris Theater, I've spoken with the Chief of Police, Patonic. They're making some efforts to make sure that to secure the building, because there's been some people trying to get in there, so we're trying to make sure no one's getting in there. We're still working with management companies to get more information to see if we can make this a viable operation or not. So they did a tour of the facility, and they're going to get back to us with some more information. One of the grants we did not recently get was a recreation grant, the LRIG. We didn't qualify for that, but we are submitting another application for Trails grant. So hopefully that'll come out to fruition. Lastly, we're still working on the Transit Village. We made their agenda for a June meeting. So hopefully we can get some progress there and be eligible for more grant money. And we're scheduled to meet, the Economic Development Committee will meet again on May 22nd. That's my report.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Meehan?
I have a question for Councilmember Meehan. Is there an ETA on when the management companies will get back to us on their assessment for the Darris Theater?
We're hoping mid-May. Mayor, if you have any more information than that?
Well, we put out RFPs and we got bupkis. So we've then reached out to a couple people who expressed an interest in the RFP but never submitted. So we had a dialogue with them. One of them did come and do a tour. They're interested in the theater. One of the problems, that we're encountering was they want us to put all the money out. They want us to pay them a fee, assume all the risk, and they'll run it for us. So that's a pretty big undertaking. So that's what we're struggling with right now.
Thank you.
A couple other things for that committee. John, Councilmember Meehan mentioned the Highlands. What you didn't mention is I think we're approved for $117,000 in planning grants. It's going to help us with, one of the things is going to help us with the master plan reexamination and a couple other plans. So we're already seeing fruition from that particular effort. And we've had some discussions about what to do for the, Marie, you may have to correct me here, semi-quincentennial?
You got it.
Okay. On the wall, we have a copy of our Constitution, probably from, I'm not sure how long ago, signed by local residents. I believe we're going to undertake the signing by local residents of our Declaration of Independence. So we'll probably have a very similar display of that. I'm not quite sure we're going to roll that out, but we're trying to figure out how to commemorate our country's birthday. All right, moving on to Parking Council.
Do you have a
Oh,
question?
I'm sorry.
for Mr. Meehan, I'm sorry. Do we have a location for the community garden?
Yes, up in the field property that we own next to Pepe Field, where the parking area is.
Yeah, I think you answered that before and I just forgot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a trial run. The Fireman's Home offered us a much larger location, but it was much larger capital outlay. So we want
Understood.
to explore it before we dive headfirst. Next up, Parking Council, Councilmember Lopez, is special guest.
Thank you so much, Mayor. So this week in our last parking committee, we reviewed a few items. Firstly, the safety sticks will be installed in the middle of Main Street. Yes, sorry. So we're installing safety sticks in the middle of Main Street with a grace period of 90 seconds per safety sticks. These are in the yellow zones. The committee has also eliminated the option to install meters in Main Street. We're actually moving forward with kiosks. Handicap spots will be free. Meters will be removed at those locations and they will be replaced with that 2-hour parking sign. Regarding the loading zones, we will have 2 spots per loading zone with delivery only from 8 to 10 a.m. Otherwise, the 15-minute parking rule will be enforced, but we just need to discuss how this is going to be enforced due to our current town resources. The committee will also work on one announcement regarding all the parking changes of the safety sticks, the loading zone, and a map of with all the changes to the public. We will also be discussing in the next meeting the costs of these kiosks and permits, town parking permits. And also as a reminder, there should be no parking on spots with malfunctioning meters. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Lopez?
Well, I do have a comment. It's good to see finally some motion on some things that I advocated for over the years, being handicap parking in our Main Street area and also the loading zone and 15-minute short-term parking. I think those are 2 things that hopefully will start to alleviate some of the issues that we've encountered. If somebody has a valid spot that's good for 15 minutes, hopefully they'll use it.
Yeah, the plan is to be the first spot on the 100 block.
That's what I advocated for. So when I was part of that committee, thank you.
Yes.
I have a question. If a member of the public or a business owner on Main Street has input before the next meeting, what's the best way for them to get that information to the meeting, to the committee?
I would suggest emailing myself and I can talk to Neil and then we can discuss at the next parking committee. So that would be for like permits for town business permits.
Yeah, you
Just any
mentioned
concerns?
permits, the implementation of the 15-minute rule, some of those comments. Yeah.
Yeah, they can email me directly. So if you go to or anybody in the parking committee, if you go to the town website, I believe we have all the committee members listed with our contact information. We can either forward that information to Neil, if it needs to be escalated to a different committee, or we can help address.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Lopez is the chair, so it would be nice to send to her and copy, and Neil Henry, the administrator.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on, Public Works. Remotely,
Yeah.
Councilmember Mazie.
I'm here in lovely Denver. Thank you for allowing me to report out. So DPW met on April 27th, and I want to just give you some updates on Pepe Field. The ball field is now complete and open and ready for gameplay. The clay's been set, the bases have been laid, and it seems to be drying out nicely. So that was something that was exciting to hear. We also talked about having that community garden up there at Pepe. We are going to put in a water line so that anything that's planted up there will be able to be cared for, and you could be able to water the garden. So that's going to happen within the next several days, several weeks as we move forward. We also discussed Canal Side Park, the pickleball court. So it seems like the pickleball court we're going to start construction within the next 45 days, weather permitting. And we have asked for fencing to go around that pickleball court so it can be cured properly and no one mistakenly steps on it or kind of wanders onto that. So that's going to be happening very, very soon. That's exciting news as well. Striping of crosswalks. We did have a nice conversation about that. And one thing that did come up was the crosswalk on Wootton and Cornelia. So it was noted by the police department that there was a crosswalk there at one point, but what has happened is there is no sidewalk on the opposite side of that crossing on Cornelia and Wootton. So at this time, I don't think we are going to reinstitute that crosswalk until we allow for ADA curbing to go in and sidewalks to be met on that other side. So I just wanted to make a note of that as well. The crosswalk at Green and Wootton will be going in shortly, weather permitting, and that will also happen. Paving. So there is a schedule out for paving, or a schedule that is available for paving of roads this year. There are going to be letters sent to residents via mail so that each resident will know when their street is going to be paved, and there'll be instructions with that to be able to move cars and things of that nature before this type of construction takes place. I'm happy to announce that the 4 welcome signs to Boonton have been refurbished and repainted. So as you drive around town, you'll start to see those nice refurbished and repainted signs that say welcome to Boonton, which is fantastic. And we also had a conversation about basins. The Union Street Basin has been repaired and completed. There are 2 other basins, one on Holmes and one on Dixon, that are going to require new framing. So our DPW Superintendent, Eric Gore, is getting the framing for those 2 basins, and those will be replaced shortly. And that concludes DPW reporting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions, Councilmember Mazie?
Yeah, I do want to extend my thanks to Councilmember Mazie for expediting some constituent concerns that have been expressed to me regarding dead trees in their property and their right of way, and that they've been addressed quickly and efficiently. So thank you.
Thanks, Marie.
All right. I am considering perhaps we should revisit the crosswalks on Wootton Street. I know we talked about them at the meeting, but after the meeting, I went up and visited them. I think people are still crossing the streets, even though there isn't a sidewalk on the other side. So I think we have to contemplate whether or not, for the minimal cost, if we want to have crosswalks to increase safety, even if there isn't the ADA compliant, because I think people are crossing the streets and perhaps being endangered. But at the next meeting, we can address that.
Okay.
All right.
I'll put that in notes. Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you. Next up, Board of Health, Councilmember Lopez.
Thank you, Councilmember Mazie, for your report. So this one was a quick meeting. So I think the most urgent or exciting update that we had is that starting July 19, 2026, New Jersey will officially enforce the new e-bike regulation requiring many riders to register their electric bike, purchase insurance, and carry a driver's license. That concludes my report. Yes, thank you.
Anyone have comments or questions? Councilmember Lopez?
Just to confirm, and I don't, Mayor, for you or Mr. Henry, but the Booton Police's fantastic presentation on e-bikes is still on the website. Is that right?
It should be.
It's on the website. Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Great. Moving on, Booton Main Street, Councilmember Meehan.
No report tonight, Mayor. Our meeting was pushed back to next week, so next meeting we'll have an update.
Great. Next up, Green Team, Councilmember Cascone.
Thank you, Mayor. While we have not met yet this month for Green Team, I am excited to announce that Melissa DeSalvo and I will be attending the 2026 Sustainability Summit in Homedale on May 15th.
Any comments or questions regarding Green Team? I believe the application has also been made to join Sustainable New Jersey.
That is
Next up, Historic Preservation Commission, Councilmember Balin.
Thank you, Mayor. Similarly, the Historic Preservation Commission will be meeting this Wednesday for its first meeting. We already gave the report for April's meeting at a previous council meeting.
Any comments or questions, Councilmember Balin? Moving on, Housing Authority, Councilmember DiVinizia.
Well, this one's going to be quick too. The April Housing Authority meeting was canceled due to the fact that there was nothing on the agenda that required board input.
Okay, any comments or questions for Councilmember DiVinizia? Seeing none, I do have one quick comment. We're trying to facilitate, they have some drainage issues at the Chestnut Street
They do.
housing. And we're trying to facilitate, the new medical building was built on West Main Street that has a drain at the very back of the property. And the owner seems to be receptive to allowing Housing Authority to tie in there.
I
Getting,
had heard that the owner was resistant to it, but.
not at all,
Oh,
very
okay.
receptive. So there's some miscommunication and Pat Laverty has been working diligently with the engineer to get that to happen.
Well, that would be good news.
Yeah,
for-
otherwise they
for
have
the
to
resident.
tear up Chestnut Street and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. but
That would be
that's what
very good
happened.
news for the residents in that, and that's.
Yep.
in that,
Mayor, if I may jump
area.
in on that
Yes.
one real
Sure.
quick? Okay, we're really hard pressed for an answer there because the gentleman that owns that property has that are due, and we're trying to get this deal together. Okay, so that we can approach him on paying his water bill. So anything anybody can do to help expedite this is greatly appreciated.
Okay, I think by having Pat deal directly with the engineer, they kind of dealt with some of the obstacles that were holding it up. Next up, we have correspondence. We have a letter from Booton Area Cultural Arts dated April 13th, addressed to the mayor and council. Dear Mayor Lynch and Town Council, BACA, Booton Area Cultural Arts, Inc. is a volunteer nonprofit organization dedicated to providing the citizens of Booton area with a wide variety of free musical entertainment in our beautiful and beloved Grace Ford Park. Mr. Thomas McGinnis started this organization 39 years ago with the dream to keep the music playing, and with the help of private and business contributions and donations from the town of Booton, we not only realize the town's Thomas dream, but share it with others who look forward to a summer evening filled with music and friendship. And they're asking us to, would be willing to donate $1,000 to this cause for our 2026 concert series, and a list of concerts. Can I get a motion to open this up for discussion?
So moved. Do you need to?
Second, Mikowski.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have comments or thoughts on this?
Yeah,
we-
I think it's a worthwhile donation. They do a good job and come on good crowd.
I think it's fairly routine.
And
Yeah,
as
because-
I believe we've done it in the past, and my only question is it
Right.
in the budget?
Yes.
If it's in the budget, I see no reason not to approve it.
Any other comments? Then I would call for motion to approve the donation of, accept the correspondence and approve the donation of $1,000.
So moved, Weissman.
Second, Balin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh. The CFO, I want to chirp in?
Mhm.
It's in the budget. Next up, we have a letter from Public Safety Director Brian Gurney, dated April 27th. On Friday, May 1st, 2026 will be my final day as Public Safety Director for Town of Booton. I'll be using my accumulated sick, vacation, and vacation carryover up until my final contract day of June 30th, 2026. To the best of my calculations, I have 48 0.1 7-hour days to use as terminal leave as of this date. I want to thank you for my years of service that we served together. I truly enjoyed my time here. I'd like to call for a motion to accept this with regret. I think he did a wonderful job with our police department. So get a motion to accept this with regret, please.
So moved, Gilkowski.
Seconded, Cascogne.
Are we going to send any sort of letter of gratitude or anything to him?
We could do that. I would add on Friday. I understand they had an event for him Friday here, but we can certainly follow with another letter.
I think we should memorialize that somehow. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, 2026 municipal budget, ordinance 7-26, public hearing, proposed adoption. Morris County, New Jersey, calendar year 2026, ordinance to exceed municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45-14. Can I get a motion to open this up for public discussion?
Second, Venezia.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to open the microphone up for discussion on the budget only. Anybody wishing to comment on this, please come forward, introduce yourself, and the microphone is yours for 3 minutes.
This is for the cap bank, not for the budget.
Ordinance to exceed municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
You look familiar.
Hi. Mike Leota, 22 North Court. So two things. One is, first, again, thank you everyone for your service. Sometimes, most of the time, you make them very easy. Yeah, all in agreement, but every once in a while, there are things that require a lot of discussion. So just want to thank everybody for their time and service. So you serve on that side, you really then get to know, wow, there's a lot more than I thought it was. Second, so for those who didn't do their homework, what's the net result of the budget? Percentage increase, the whole thing.
We're under 2%, but we'll have our CFO address that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Mr. Yasky?
I guess I'll speak from here.
Yes, please.
The net impact that everyone experiences is about 2% of a tax increase, which is what everyone feels from a quarterly perspective. However, through your tax contributions, it's not only our municipal share, it's also the other entities we collect on behalf of, which includes the school and the county, as well as the library and county open space. If you'd like me to briefly elaborate, those numbers are now final. The school budget increased at an adopted percentage of 6.25%. The county is a bit different of a calculation, but that's about 3.5%. And then, like I said, our shares around 2%. So we've done as best as we could with our, we'll say, quarter of the pie share. But you know, the other entities also contribute.
So the overall burden, everybody doesn't look at the breakdown, but the overall burden is going to be around 4.5%, 5%.
The way it averages out, probably around 4%. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other members of the public on the budget? Okay, seeing none, I would close the public hearing and call for motion opens up to town council discussion.
So moved, Gilkowski.
Second, Balin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any council members have comments or questions?
The only comment I have is that, you know, every year it's difficult to make these decisions. I have to give credit to the finance committee for the hard work that they put in and an appreciation for the amount of time it takes to prepare this budget, and also to Mr. Yazdi for his work. You know, we all wish we could pay less, but that's just not a fact of life.
What else?
I mean, I would just briefly note for anyone who wants to learn more about the budget and the process, there's a terrific presentation that's on our website that goes into the detail of how we got there. And appreciated the chair of finance committee, Maria. I really appreciate those comments, and just want to thank the other members of the committee, Mayor Lynch, Councilmember me, and Councilmember Balin, for the lot of work that goes into getting here, and obviously Mr. Henry, Mr. Yasti, and really all of the department heads of town.
As Councilmember Dionisia said, this is first vote is for the cap bank. The next one coming up is for the budget adoption. I'll make this comment now. There is another body that votes on budget increases and actually has the bigger portion of what you will feel at home. That's the school board. They meet at the high school building and the media center. They have their meetings posted. They pass a budget. They approved a 6.25% increase. So the larger portion of what you will feel this next year was decided upon by the school board members. So you should definitely, if you're concerned about the budget, it's important to follow the actions of this board, but also the actions of the school board.
I just want to make one quick point. When the various department heads made the various requests, much of the contract is contractually obligated. We have bargaining units that, you know, their salaries are spelled out. But I think the initial ask was close to 8% increase. And we made some difficult cuts and got it down. You know, we try to use 2 as a target, 2%, which we think is reasonable, which is a challenge when we're dealing with health insurance, which increased significantly. And most of our bargaining units get better than a 2% increase. So we're cutting and cutting and cutting, but we're just, I don't know, 24% of the overall budget or something. So as Councilmember Balin said, a lot of it is out of our hands. Seeing no other comments, I would call for a motion to move ordinance 7-26 forward.
So moved, Weissman.
Second, Venezia.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Casconi.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Ms. Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Mazie.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Weissman.
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky.
yes,
Mayor Lynch.
Yes. Resolution 26-114, adoption of 2026 municipal budget. I call for a motion to open this up for public hearing as budget as introduced.
So
so
moved,
moved,
Weissman.
Wakilsky.
Second.
Okay. Any members of the public wishing to come forward to discuss the budget, please do so now. The floor is yours. Seeing none, I would close the public hearing on the budget. We have a minor amendment, no change in the totals, but some line items changed, so it's a little bit out of order here.
I think we have to,
I got it.
okay, I'm sorry.
Resolution 26-115, resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Boonton, County of Morris, and state of New Jersey to amend 2026 budget. Can we get a motion to open this up for town council discussion?
So moved, Meehan.
Second, Balin.
Okay, any council member comments?
I think that we need to pass 114 before we can amend it by 115. No? That's
I thought so too.
Okay, fine. In that case, I stand corrected and I move that we adopt resolution 26-115.
Okay, there was no discussion? Okay, then I'm gonna roll call.
I'll
wait a
second.
second.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Liz.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Casconi.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Ms. Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Mazie.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Weissman.
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky.
yes,
Mayor Lynch.
Yes. Next up, we need to adopt resolution 26-114, which I'm not sure why 114 comes after 115, but I share your confusion, Councilman. I would call for a motion to open this up for council discussion.
So moved, Balin.
Second, Meehan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any comments or questions?
Asked and answered.
Okay. Then I would close the council discussion and call for motion to adopt the budget as amended.
So moved, Casconi.
second, Wakilsky.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Casconi.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Ms. Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Mazie.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Weissman.
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky.
Yes,
Mayor Lynch.
Yes. Next up, we have our consent agenda, resolutions 26-116 through 26-113. I call for a motion to open this up for council's discussion and comments.
so moved, Wakilsky.
Second, Balin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any comments or questions?
The only comment I have is regarding 26-118 and 26-119. I wish these individuals well in their temporary appointments.
Thank you very much. And I believe we'll be having a formal proceeding of that later on, assuming this passes. we-
Assuming they complete the requirements.
Um,
And Mayor, just, am I
Yes.
right that that's the first meeting in June is the plan, or do we not, are we not sure?
I'm not certain.
Okay.
Um, Next up, I call for motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I do have one other question.
Oh,
I
sorry.
apologize. Resolution 26-121 is an application for grant funding. And my question was, what is the amount of that grant funding for the remediation at Jersey Plating?
I think it's around 300,000, but generally it's 100% covered. You know, we're expending 100, spending 300 and we're getting.
So that's
300
100% reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's the money pit that never gets full.
Yep.
Okay, then I would call for motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move, McGillicuddy.
Second, Balin.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin?
Yes.
Ms. Casconi?
Yes.
Ms. Divanazia?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Ms. Maisy?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Mr. Weissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Resolution 26-124, a resolution authorizing the issuance of not exceeding $4,500,000 bond anticipation notes of the town of Boonton in the county of Morris, New Jersey. Let's see. I would call for motion to open this up for council discussion.
So moved, Balin.
Seconded, Casconi.
Any council member comments or questions?
The only question I have is, I want to just clarify, this is
Public-
not, huh? This
Go
is
ahead.
not new debt, right? This is a rollover of existing bond anticipation notes. Is this correct?
This is roughly an increase of $2 million on our short-term notes to have cash to pay for the projects we're doing. A significant portion of the need for this is because the TAP grant is now coming to life, and that comes with pretty significant expenses, many of which are covered by a grant or the county's share, but we need to front the cash at least, so.
Thank you.
The TAP grant for the members of the public is the Main Street improvement.
Okay. Seeing no other comments, I would close the council discussion and call for a roll call, please.
How about a motion to adopt?
How about a motion to adopt? Excuse me. I got
So
two spots
moved.
left over, left and right here.
Second,
moved.
second, Meehan.
Now can we have a roll?
Mr. Balin?
Yes.
Ms. Casconi?
Yes.
Ms. Divanazia?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Ms. Maisy?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Mr. Weissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Resolution 26-125, a resolution determining the form and other details of not exceeding $1,725,000 water bonds and notes in anticipation thereof of the town of Boonton in the county of Morris, New Jersey, and providing for their sale to New Jersey Infrastructure Bank and the state of New Jersey, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain agreements in connection therewith. And I would call for motion to open this up for council discussion.
So moved, Balin.
Second, McGillicuddy.
Any council member comments or questions? Seeing none, I would then call for a motion to adopt resolution 26-125.
So moved, Divanazia.
Second, Meehan.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin?
Yes.
Ms. Casconi?
Yes.
Ms. Divanazia?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Ms. Maisy?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Mr. Weissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. New business. Ordinance 10-26, introduction title only, and ordinance authorizing the sale of town-owned real property no longer needed for public use by private sale to contiguous property owners. Can we get a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved, McGillicuddy.
Second, Meehan.
Get a roll call, please.
Mr. Balin?
Yes.
Ms. Casconi?
Yes.
Ms. Divanazia?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Ms. Maisy?
Yes.
Mr. Meehan?
Yes.
Mr. Weissman?
Yes.
Mr. Wakilsky?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch?
Yes. Next up, ordinance 11-26, introduction title only. An ordinance amending section 52-3, flag display policy of the town code of Boonton. I had a comment I'd like to make first. It's my understanding that the intent of this amendment is to fly the pride flag, that the committee chair, Councilmember Maisy, sought guidance and approval from Boonton Rainbow Pride LLC, the officers, including Councilmember Weissman's wife. The Booton Rainbow Pride LLC is a taxable for-profit entity formed by Lindsay Weissman. The business address is Mr. Weissman's address. The president of the organization is listed as Lindsay Weissman. And the application for the use of Great Sword Park lists Booton Elks as a co-sponsor because Booton Rainbow Pride is not a tax-exempt organization and avoids the rental usage fee. So I would pose that perhaps Mr. Weissman has a conflict of interest and should recuse himself.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
please, please.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Mayor, and respectfully, I disagree.
Yeah.
And I think it's a couple of things that are important, and I was thinking this might come up
Yeah.
tonight. I was hoping it wouldn't, frankly.
Okay.
And so I'm not fully prepared. I don't have a prepared remarks like you were shared. But a couple of things I think are really important. And I have, as my colleagues up here know, I have recused myself multiple times during my time on the council. So it's something I think and take very seriously.
Mhm.
I think it's really important to note, though, that philosophical alignment is not conflict of interest. The courts have been very clear on this. NJ essay, I think it defines conflict of interest very specifically as direct financial or personal involvement. Now, Booton Rainbow Pride is a community organization, an organization in this town. Everything you said is correct. My wife is deeply involved, and frankly, I'm really proud of her for being deeply involved. I think many of us up here are deeply involved, and our spouses are deeply involved in community organization. I think that's a good thing. We have never, in my time up here, asked somebody to recuse themselves because a member of their family is involved in an organization. There's no, that is without personal financial gain. There's no financial gain that happens with Booton Rainbow Pride. The other thing that's really important to note is that Booton Rainbow Pride is not a party to this. Many members of the community have been consulted on many different things, including whether or not to support this or oppose this. Both. That happens with anything that we do up here. Booton Rainbow Pride is not a party to this ordinance. It was brought up by a member of this council. It was a group of 4 council members spent a lot of hours going through it. And I think so. I don't believe it's appropriate for me to recuse, and it's not something I'm comfortable doing. Just because I may have philosophical alignment, just because members of my family may believe that this is the right move for the town, it's not something I believe I need to recuse myself. One other point, you mentioned the Booton Elks, and I've recused myself in other matters related to the Booton Elks. This ordinance has nothing to do with Booton Rainbow Pride that's happening on June 20th in our town. That's what Booton Elks has agreed to be a part of. That's what it is, not this. I think it's a really important distinction, and conflating them is, in my opinion, not appropriate this time.
I raised the issue with Booton Rainbow Elks, Booton Elks, because Booton Rainbow Pride is not a tax-exempt organization, and they partner with the Elks
On
in
one
order-
event.
on this one event.
One event,
Because
one day.
they are not, because they're a taxable entity.
Sure, on one
Booton
event, on
Rainbow
one
Pride
day.
is a taxable entity. Would you agree?
I honestly have no idea what Booton Rainbow Pride, I mean, like my wife's, I believe they are.
Yeah.
I know they're for profit. I'm not privy to, I'm not on their board. I'm not privy to their financial,
Okay.
situation, except I know we do not personally benefit. I do not personally financially benefit from this. And again, this ordinance is about raising, amending our flag ordinance for a flag for the month of June. It has nothing to do with an event that's happening in town on June 20th. Where you may be correct is that when we voted on raising the Rainbow Arch, which is connected to Booton Rainbow Pride, maybe I should have recused myself on that one. I wasn't asked to, which was interesting. But I'm asked when that was going to be a 9-0 vote. I'm being asked to now because we all know that this is not going to be a 9-0 vote.
Well,
enough.
I have to insert, as a member of the committee, I hope other members will support me on this, that it's just factually incorrect to say that the Booton Rainbow Pride event at Great Sword Park has nothing to do with this ordinance. As the mayor stated in his comments, as I was privy to as part of the subcommittee, the chair of the committee and at least the chair of the committee involved specifically reached out with members of Booton Rainbow Pride, the founder, your wife, to confer on the placement, choice of the flag design for this ordinance, the duration of the display, and at more than one meeting, it was pointed out that the significant goal of this ordinance was for the flag raising at Great Sword Park for this event. I also would say the mayor is not raising this point. I'm not agreeing with his concern due to any disparity of philosophical alignment. And the law is very clear on this, as I'm sure our council can point out, it's financial interest. And I believe, again, if it's necessary to point out, does a spousal relationship introduce an ethical conflict with regard to financial interest?
How is financial interest defined?
And Boonton Rainbow Pride, by the way, is a limited liability corporation. It's publicly available information.
Sure is.
Well, you just said you didn't know.
I haven't looked. I honestly, until 5 minutes before this meeting, I didn't know this was going to come up. I can assure you, I have no.
Well, ignorance is not an excuse for an ethical violation.
I don't believe this is an ethical violation. And Councilmember Balin, I'm not going to go there. I take deep offense at that.
All right, I raised the issue. I'm going to put into record, the documents that I have to show it's a taxable entity. It's within your rights to disagree and vote, which apparently you're going to, which is fine.
I believe members of the body could make a motion to force my recusal. And if you'd like to do that, you should feel free.
I believe I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not.
Thank you.
All right, so then I would call for a motion to introduce ordinance 11-26.
So moved, Venezia.
Seconded, Casconi.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Balin,
No.
Ms. Casconi,
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Maisy,
Yes.
Mr. Meehan,
No.
Mr. Weissman.
Yes.
Mr. Wakilski,
No.
Mayor Lynch.
No, I believe the introduction passes.
Yes.
Next up, town council members, administrator, and town attorney comments. Any council members wishing to raise any issues are happy to do so.
I would,
I would just like to make comment about last Sunday, yesterday, we had our car show on Main Street. We had over 165 cars come. It was outstanding. The weather held up for us, a little chilly in the morning, but it got nice out. Main Street was flowing with people. Great to see the cars, great to see people come this far away from Pennsylvania to be in our car show, which took place on a rain date. So there's a lot of other competing pre-scheduled car shows, yet people decided to come to Boonton. So to our rec director, Tracy Pryor, did a great job rallying the troops, getting everybody ready. She puts all her effort in, and then we're just sort of her minions getting things done. But it was a great event. So glad to see everyone came out there. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have two comments. The first one has to do with, I believe very strongly that even if one disagrees with an ordinance that on the first reading, that we should be able to give it a fair hearing on second reading. And so I would have hoped to see more people willing to have an open discussion in this public forum about this ordinance. That's my comment about that. My other comment is that I would have loved to have been at the car show, but there was another competing event in town yesterday and Saturday, which was the Pathways of History. Boonton, once again, was the only town that had two sites open, which was the John Taylor House Museum and also the Miller Kingsland House. And I was happy to have been invited by the Historical Society to be a subject matter presenter demonstrating hand spinning. And we saw a great number of people come through the Miller Kingsland House yesterday afternoon. And what was most encouraging is that a number of them were families with young children who were very interested in the building and in what I was doing with my hands. So I greatly appreciate the opportunity from the Historical Society to participate.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I want to comment on the flag ordinance. So some may see flying the pride flag as a political statement. I see it differently. While the pride flag represents the LGBTQ community, to me, flying this flag is about something broader. It signals that Boonton is a town where people feel safe, a town where people are welcome and not judged, a town where no one is discriminated against because of who they are, their gender, their sexuality, the color of their skin, the accent in their voice, where they were born, or their immigration status. To me, if we are willing to say clearly that the LGBTQ community is seen, respected, and accepted, then we are saying something even bigger, that everyone is accepted here. That is what this flag represents to me. Not politics, but safety, dignity, and belonging for all. And I agree that the American flag represents those values. And I think we all want that to be true in practice, not just principle. Flying the pride flag doesn't take anything away from that. It actually makes it that more visible. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, the clerk has asked me to make a comment regarding the ballot drop box. It's relocated to the back of the building now. And the legal notices are now on legal notices webpage of town's website rather than in the newspaper. Okay. Then I would open the meeting up to the public. Any members of the public wishing to come forward, please do so. Introduce yourself. And you got 3 minutes.
You got a timer?
Michael Herbert, I live on Home Street. I would have been nice to see if this number of people here for the budget discussions. Obviously, a lot of emotion in the room. Thank you, Councilperson Lopez. As a similarly emotional person, I know how difficult it can be to speak your mind on subjects like this. It feels we've done this before. I've been here before, and I feel like we've jumped the gun a little bit here, and that we've just introduced the ordinance tonight. And I would guess that most of the people sitting behind me are not really familiar with a lot of the details of the ordinance, and that's not going to stop anybody from having opinions, and that's okay. To my understanding, we are not discussing a pride flag that would fly on the flagpole in front of Town Hall. I know that this isn't a back and forth, but that's my understanding of this ordinance. My understanding is this is a flag that would fly in Grace Lord Park for the month of June, Pride Month. And that is the motivating factor for flying the Pride flag. Pride Month, that is a observance that is not invented by Boot and Rainbow Pride. That is a national observance that has come out of a civil rights movement. So I feel like everybody in this room could do with, myself included, a little more information about the ordinance. And that's kind of why I scampered up here, because I feel like we're kind of about to butt heads over something, the details of which have not been shared with everybody. So myself, and I hope everybody else in the room will, to Councilperson DiVenezia's point, take the time to read the full ordinance and understand its details, and then have a respectful discussion, because again, we're not talking about the flagpole in front of Town Hall. We are talking about a separate flagpole in Grace Lord Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Make sure it's turned on. No, it wasn't turned on. No.
Reset is.
Now it's turned on. Brian Benton, 217 Crown Road. Well, we're here again.
You might want to get close.
Oh, you don't want me to sing now. Brian Benton, 217 Crown Road. Somebody told me, and I like your thing about inclusivity.
Uh-oh.
That was the last
Time's up.
timer. That's it, Brian, sit down.
That was the quickest timer I ever had. Brian Benton, 217 Crown Road. Let's start that one again. I like what you said about inclusivity. My wife's half Colombian. Never mind.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, start. I like how you said about inclusivity.
Clock on the field says.
Just use your,
Somebody said to me
no, use your thing.
that this is
30
about,
seconds.
when we talk about the flag,
Use your.
we talk about flags that include everybody. You said about inclusivity. And that's what this ordinance is about, or the first ordinance. Now you're thinking about one flag. You brought up a great thing. But what about somebody else's flag? What about your flag? What about your flag? What about a family faith? We'll go crazy. What about Dunkin' Donuts flag? What about ice cream? What about mental illness? What about? Okay, but it's about inclusivity. And if the ordinance doesn't include every flag, it should include all flags. It should include any flag. It doesn't include all flags. There's other thing. There's standing case law that people should know about. Scheffler versus the city of Boston. Cost them per flag $2.1 million for one flag because somebody wanted to fly a family faith flag and they said no because it wasn't in the ordinance. Cost that town $2.1 million. Went all the way up to the Supreme Court. They lost. Now that town has no flag ordinance. Okay. It's not about anti this, anti that. When this all came up, I asked about men's health. Okay. A lot of people said bad things about me. Fine. Okay. It's all about coming together. Okay. Nobody's against the pride. I have people on my street that are gay, lesbian. Love them all. Love everybody in this room. Sounds crazy. Okay. Shouldn't hate. Should be hate in our hearts when it comes after everything. Okay. It should come after love. That's what we should be talking about. Okay. But we also have to respect the other flags. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with. You need to respect all flags. So if you're going to choose one flag only, okay, that's going to be wrong. Okay. Because somebody's going to come up here and say, what about my flag? And yes, does it hurt when you got to choose one or the other one? Nobody hates anybody in this town. That's the nice thing about Boot. Okay. See a lot of love. Okay. I don't want anybody to hate. Okay. So we all should come from a place from love. Okay. And that's what I want to see. But I want to see everybody be respected. And if you can't respect every single flag that comes up, no matter what it is, can't have an ordinance that just picks one over the other. That's my point. That's where I'm going to stand. I'll come up here every time and say that. Okay. I hope everybody can just sit back, love each other, who they are. You were nice, seem like a nice guy. Love to have coffee with you one time. Okay. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy. Think about that it has to be everybody, not just one flag.
Thank you for your comments.
Next person's I'll turn it off.
My name is
I
Marguerite.
think he turned it off. I think he turned off the microphone. Just leave it on. No.
Just leave it
Oh,
on.
it is on. I'm sorry.
Just leave it on.
Okay, there you go.
I have a couple of things. So do I have to come up 3 times?
Now you get 3 minutes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Marguerite Tessar. I live at 508 Washington Street. And I have a dog, and so 2 dogs. And I was wondering, Boonton doesn't have a dog park. I mean, we have, I'm on the Board of Health, and what do all our problems deal with? They deal with dog problems. They don't know how to have a place to take the dogs, so the dogs poop in the street. Believe me, if you had a dog park, we would monitor those dog poops. And I was thinking there's the Canoes Pocket Park. What's this? I didn't
Keep
even talk
talking,
about it
keep
yet.
talking.
I have been there several times. A lot of dogs go in there. I've never seen a child in there. And it would be an ideal place, but if you have a better place, I'm for it. I don't care. I don't live right next to that park. Just an idea that it would be nice, every community have a dog park, because almost everybody in this community has a dog. And it would be great if we had a dog park. And Louisa, thank you. You were so brave. I love you for that. That was wonderful. Also, this has nothing to do with the council, but I was hoping for your assistance. I was wondering, these are county things. First of all, I had, Mr. Henry had helped me getting a speed sign on Washington Street because there's lots of drag racing. Our own car was totaled, just parked in front of our house. And there's been at least 3 accidents in front of our house on 508 Washington Street, which is about a block and a half from the cemetery. And I know it's a county road, but I was wondering, it's really unsafe. And I wondered if there's any way we could do something with the county to do something about that. Also, one other thing, the recycling, times have changed. Everybody has so much recycling and I know it's a county thing, but I wondered if maybe you guys could talk to somebody at the county, because in this day and age, we all recycle. And every 2 weeks, there's like a pile of recycling, goes out in the street, goes across everywhere. If you go down Washington Street, you'll see it all the time. And, you know, one garbage pickup a week and one recycling pickup a week would make so much more sense. And I want to thank you very much. I can't believe how many people are here. At the Board of Health, nobody comes. Totally empty. So, you know, come on over every third Tuesday of the month. Come on over, come on in. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, my name's Alan Sherrill. I also live at 508 Washington Street. I'm a board member at the United Railroad Historical Society. We recently had an incident of vandalism about a week and a half ago, where vandals came in and it did a significant amount of damage to pieces of our collection. And I know the investigation is still ongoing with the police department, but I have been told that there's been significant progress with that. And I just wanted to go on record thanking the police department for their efforts in resolving this and hopefully bringing it to a swift conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Linda Bubnick.
Sorry, name and address?
Linda Bubnick, Decker Road, Booton.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor and council, the word indivisible in our Pledge of Allegiance means something that cannot be divided, separated, or broken into smaller parts. It is a single, inseparable whole. It implies that a concept or group is unified and indestructible, often used to describe the inseparable bonds, indivisible rights, or the indivisible nature of a nation, as in one nation indivisible. Voting for an additional flag destroys the concept of being unified and indestructible. I hope you vote for a symbol of unity, not division. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Try to get close to the microphone.
Oh,
please.
good morning. Good evening, morning. I'm all right too. I've been following that act for 57 years, so I know it's a good one.
Name and address, please.
Becker Road, Putin.
Okay, name?
Richard Bubnick.
Okay, thank you.
I think they're a fan of me. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how you will handle which groups can and which groups can't fly the flag. It boggles my mind what you're doing here. When voting, I hope you would vote what's best for the town of Booton and not what your feelings. American flag stands for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Rob Murray, 697 Booton Avenue. The clock stopped. You got your phone, sorry. Good evening. I'd like to thank, first of all, Brian Gurney for all he has done with the Booton Public Safety Department. His experience, determination, and hard work helped the department achieve the high degree of excellence it has today. Secondly, it was with disappointment that I read Booton's flag ordinance was being considered for modification. The current version was crafted after many hours of discussion and compromise, and in my opinion, is fair to us all. Flags flown on town-owned flagpoles are indeed a representation of the town's inhabitants. As such, the flags flown on them must be representative of all town residents. Currently, all the flags permitted to be flown on these poles include us all, as well as honor and show respect to past, present, and future members of our armed services. Similar to how our town council members represent all members of the Booton community and not just a select few, I feel it's important to maintain the current flag ordinance so that it too continues to represent us all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening.
Pete Nolfo, First Ward. I'd like to approach this the way Ms. Lopez did from the town. I came here 45 years ago from New York City. Came here because Boonton was a place to raise a family, great place to raise a family. Over the years, I've been on the Board of Ed for 7 years. I was on a planning commission for a year. Over that time, I never heard complaints about race, religion, personal stances. Never heard a complaint. Not to my knowledge has any other group pushed for this type of an ordinance. The fact that we have a population like we have is a testament to the town Boonton is. We have every type of race, creed, religion, political, social type of person in this town. The American flag symbolizes unity, neutrality, and inclusion. It avoids the division that can accompany any special interest banner. The flag is intended to represent all of our citizens, regardless of political, social, personal stances, and to avoid any sentiment or idea that can divide rather than unite. Just by the fact that you have people up here tonight arguing both ways shows that this is not a unification type of issue. I urge the board to keep it simple. One American flag for all the citizens of Boonton. If someone wants to fly a flag that represents their segment of the population or political or social ideology, they can do it on their own property or with a special permit. Let's keep Boonton under one flag for all citizens. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Michael Yoga, 20 Janella Court, also for the new board members. I was an alderman from 1996 to 2019, so I know what it's like to be up there. Regarding the current proposed change to the ordinance, I am not in favor of any changes at this time for really three very important reasons, and just echo what the previous gentleman just said there. One, government neutrality and nonpartisanship. Town flagpoles and the flag represent all residents regardless of beliefs, identity, or affiliation. Flying the U.S. flag only helps ensure the government does not appear to endorse any specific group, cause, or ideology. Second reason, legal and constitutional risk reduction. First Amendment challenges of viewpoints, discrimination would be avoided. U.S. flag policy is easier to defend legally because it applies equally to all. Third reason, consistency and simplicity of policy. Single flag represents a clear enforceable rule. There is no need for case-by-case decisions by either this board or by our future boards. The key thing here is to avoid the slippery slope by introducing this type of change to the ordinance, which would raise controversies on extremist symbols. So, does anybody know what this is?
Come on, Mike.
Anybody know what this is?
Come on, Mike.
No, they don't. This is the symbol of thousand years ago of Buddhist and Hinduism, of the symbol that the Nazis hijacked in the 1930s for their own political gains. This actually represented good luck and fortune. This is the thing that we want to try to avoid by going down this slippery slope. These type of things, one group saying I would like to fly this, another group, and such forth. Like the gentleman said before, let's keep it simple. One unified flag policy. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. No.
Talking about the flag. Nobody talked about it. You didn't say you didn't talk about it.
Good evening, I'm Randall Campbell, 16 Janella Court. I also agree that the ordinance should not be changed. The symbols that are the flags that are currently recognized are unifying and are representative of all Americans, all citizens of Morris County and Boonton. Now, when we start to introduce other symbols, recognizing other subgroups, we are inevitably excluding other subgroups. And so as a town council, I would hope that we would strive to be as inclusive and uniting as we can possibly be. Obviously, every citizen in this town has the ability to fly whatever flag they want at their home residence, recognizing race, religion, political perspective, what have you, sexual orientation. However, town halls should be focusing on what unifies us as a community, as one family here in Boonton. And so we don't need to start singling out individual groups to have their flags flown. I understand it's Grace Lord Park. However, is that not city property? And so that's an endorsement of the town and of the town council. And just like Mr. Ioga just mentioned, now we've opened Pandora's box. And it's not necessary because we already have flags that represent all of us.
Thank you for your comments.
Meredith Holly in Home Street. I don't often get up and speak to this kind of stuff. I'm very much a big listener and try and take everybody's things into consideration. I have to say, everybody needs to get over themselves. We're supposed to be this great country. We're supposed to be having fought for this country and their freedoms. And now we're all worried about hanging a flag. This is like ridiculous now at this point in time. If everybody's saying that this town is so diverse, which I think it is too, then what are we so afraid of? If you're really saying that you're afraid of any kind of progress, and this is a matter of national recognition for civil rights. We've allowed women to vote. We've gotten Black rights. We've gotten gay rights. All these things. Like, why are we just fighting something that's already been done? It's a flag in Grace Lord Park, for crying out loud. Everybody needs to get over it.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, everybody. My name is.
Can you get close to the microphone, please?
But you see, it has to be.
Got somebody to help you.
Is it gonna be?
It's on right there.
Teresa Keiser, 219 Mechanic Street. I think I'm an original Bootonite. I just have a question, not about flags or anything, but on the ordinance of 1026, which is the property no longer needed by the town, do you identify those properties?
We generally make comments here, and at the end of the discussion comments, I will try to answer the questions that are posed.
Okay. Does that mean?
When everybody's done, I will answer, and I think there's
Okay.
a number of public, written comments as well.
Okay. And the other one was the ordinance, the resolution 26-122, which was the awarding of a contract for the sewer system repair. Is that townwide?
I'll answer that as well.
Okay. Last one. Concerning the, this is 26-121, concerning the Union Street project. You're going to answer that later too, right?
Which one was that?
Jersey Place.
Oh, Jersey Place.
26-121. And it says that New Jersey, the town of Boonton is committed to the redevelopment of Block 3, Lot 7, located at 113 Union Street. I grew up across the street from there. To be completed within 3 years. This has been ongoing for 20 years? I know. So what remediation now is going to be new?
I will answer questions at the end.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your comments and questions. Anyone else?
Joseph Katai from 415 Madison Street, Booton. I just got to ask one simple question to make it clear to me. This rainbow flag that we're talking about, is it a flag to be put on the town hall outside along with our American flag? Or is it a flag that's going to be put at Grace Lord Park on a flagpole? Can someone answer that to make it clear to me right here and now, please?
Grace Lord.
Grace Lord Park, a flagpole to go there with the rainbow flag.
I think below the existing American flag.
I'm
I
sorry?
believe below the existing American flag.
Okay, at Grace Lord Park. Fine. I have no problem with that. I respect the rainbow flag and all the colors and what they mean. And anyone with common sense looks at these colors, what they mean, and has no objection to them. I have no problem with the rainbow flag at Grace Lord Park. Okay, my understanding is clear now. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Margaret Balin, 719 Green. I agree with so much that has already been said here about how much we need unity and representation. We need welcoming. We need to be able to count on the things that we know are so good about our country. And I just want us to all to remember that this conversation is enabled by the unifying symbol of the American flag. The fact that an alternative flag is being put forward as another symbol that is unifying is the privilege of our country. And if someone is telling us that that is a symbol that should be put up and then also represent everyone, if this is a message you're hearing, I'm suspicious that whoever is telling you this is selling something. The United States flag is a flag for everyone, and it represents all the things that you so eloquently expressed. People have fought for that, for those things, and died. And it still stands. It's the only symbol that stands to unify and bring us together and represent everyone so that we all can then take on our own symbols, whatever they may be. But it's important for us to remember that it is because of that symbol that we can have all the other conversations that we're having. That symbol deserves that pride of place. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Tony Scarzafava, grew up on Green Street, now on Fairview Avenue for the last 48 years, my wife and I. You know, that flagpole was a scout project. I wonder if that scout knows at this point that this is a possibility that you know, you call it a rainbow flag. The rainbow was given by God, is for everybody. When Judy Garland sings Somewhere with a Rainbow, that's a great song, but that's for everybody. That was my first comment. When the immigrants come over, you spoke about immigrants, and they take the oath. What do they have in their hand? This flag. Because it means the United States of America. I know you, I'm sorry, I don't meet the point, and you have the flags on your property. You don't have an American flag. It's like, No, you don't. He's got one, and it's in bad shape, by the way. It's in bad shape. So I have a new one for you to put it up. Okay. So this lady here, I don't think she's got a flag on her property on Green Street. I go by there. Marie does,
Actually, I took it down because it's in terrible shape and I'm replacing it.
but it is the American flag. You have the other flag, okay? The point is, when I was on the board for 8 years, there was a mayor and there was an alderman, and we call him alderman. I sat between them because I was president of the board that year. The mayor was gay and the alderman was gay. No problem. Nobody pushed anything on either one of us. When I see him today, he comes up and gives me a big bear hug. And I give him one back. No problem. There's been gays in this town for many, many years. They're not here. The ones I'm looking around and I don't see them because they're people, they're home, they're working, they're taking care of their houses. Well, I got 1 minute. Thank you. The guy in the corner is giving me the joker. When I worked at, my wife was president of the museum for many years. We would work down there alongside of Jamie. He's over in the corner. No problem. We all work together. And that's what it should be. And what you're doing is pulling this apart by doing that. I don't know of anybody in town that was gay or anything had that problem. Can you tell me that somebody's had a problem? That they call the police, that they don't feel safe? They're down there in the coffee shops all over the town? No problem. So I think this is ridiculous in a way. These fellows over here all fought for that flag. A lot of them in Vietnam.
3 minutes. That's it, Tony.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I'm Cliff Keyser. I'm retired alderman here in the town of Boonton. I didn't come up here to talk for a long period of time, but I need to point out to the board, you have 3 retired aldermen here. And just the fact that we're here should point out to you that you've kind of hit a sensitive issue for us. I come from a military family. I'm one of 5 boys. We all served. We did our thing. And I want nothing to touch the American flag. I was raised that way. I believe that way. And anything that takes anything away from that, I would never support. And I think you know that you have an interesting issue. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, Mayor, Council. Thank you so much for listening to us tonight, and thank you for being here, and thank you for all your hard work. This is my first time ever speaking here, but I really feel. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Charlotte Sheridan. I live on Old Boonton Road. My husband and I have been in this town for 10 years. We bought a house about 4 years ago. We have 3 small children, and I'm currently homeschooling them, and I'm teaching them about our country, which is awesome. And my son is here tonight, and he really loves our country, and he wants to hear about how you guys are doing this here, and he wants to learn about it. And I'm so proud. I mean, I'm so like, I feel like I really didn't know about our country, and now I'm learning so much along with him, you know, about all the sacrifices that men and women have made here and how great our country is. And just starting from like, you know, just Christopher Columbus and all just the very beginnings. And I knew nothing. And now I'm so amazed by how amazing our country is and all the sacrifices that people have made, the courage and the I don't know, just to really honor, you know, the people that made our country so great and continue to make our country great. I want to say I have a sister who identifies as trans, and so this issue is very close to me, and I love her, but I believe that the American flag is the most inclusive flag. That is the broadest reaching, and that we can all stand under. And the truth is that if the pride flag flew at the park, I wouldn't bring my children there. And that's just what I believe in, and so as we're talking about unity, the thing that brings us together is our country, and this flag, and we're coming up on our 250th birthday. And so I just really think about respecting that and honoring that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, I'm Michelle Riley, and I live in the second ward. I'm just going to change direction a little bit and say thank you very much for all your hard work. I want to compliment the clerk on her very thorough agenda, and I just want to encourage you towards maybe greater, the word I don't really like, but transparency. And as the second gentleman to get up stated, it would be really nice to see, even if it's a draft and can be changed, the actual wording of both of the ordinances in the agenda so that people could read about it beforehand, know what they were coming to speak to you about, and have time to really kind of compose their thoughts. Even though I think everybody did tonight, I just think that that is some really good goal. And in addition, Resolution 26-120 for professional service, I would like to see you put in there the amount of the contract, dollar value, and not just say that it's based on the agreement. Because I think anybody reading the agenda would like to know what your professional service agreement is going to cost.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Daniel Balin. I live at 719 Green Street. Many of you don't read my email, so I figured I would get up here and use this moment to speak to you publicly, make sure you can hear from me. I'm a veteran. Like a couple other people in the room, I can also get emotional. This year is, as many of you know, the 250, we had the fancy word, 250th anniversary of our country's birth. It's also the 25th anniversary of 9/11. I had the privilege of serving at the Kandahar Airfield. We flew out December 26th, 2001. I lost some friends there. Some members of this council have said that this is not an affront. The choice to put an additional flag representing their cause is not in any way meant to be an affront to veterans. I appreciate their sentiment. However, that POW MIA flag there, which represents a number of Boontonians, Nelson Dimmick, who was a prisoner of World War II. We have over 61 soldiers who died in World War II. That flag does not represent an ideology or a subset. It is a reminder of the cost that was paid to keep that flag flying high, the American flag. There's much more I'd like to say, but I'll just end with some questions. Gentleman, Mr. Herbert mentioned, the language of the ordinance and what's on there. That is important to read. What you will not find on there when it goes public, you will not find on there a policy for how the town will deny or review any requests that are made in response to the decision to make a pride flag government speech. The individuals who have proposed and voted for this ordinance will tell you that by clearly stating that only the pride flag is being added, and by the way, which pride flag, that's not defined, that there is no legal risk But certainly, when the majority changes in this council, or perhaps when it stays the same, other groups will ask for their flag to be flown. On what principle will you deny them?
You're done, Z.
On what principle will you deny them? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public wishing to come forward? Oh, here comes one, two.
It's unrelated to the flag ordinance.
That's fine. Anything you want to discuss? Any-
Make sure I wasn't the one up.
Anything you want to discuss?
Mary McMahon, 529 Boonton Avenue. Council members and Mayor Lynch, thank you for your service to the town and the broader community. My name is Mary McMahon. I am a wife, a mother of 4 young children who do use that corner park, a homeowner, and a member of this town's Board of Education. Since joining the board a few months ago, I really have become aware, much more aware of local budgets and their complexities. Last Monday night, I was the sole present member of the board to vote no to the 6.25% local tax levy. This translates into an additional $467.29 a year in property taxes on the average home, with the assessed value of $362,555. This was the highest hike in more than 15 years, despite already having very high taxes, and this is not inclusive of the 3.5% tax levy, the banked cap that you guys are voted on this evening, nor the county tax reassessment of all our homes, which won't take effect until for another year. A motto of this town is small town, big heart. But how on earth are families supposed to survive here with these astronomical tax hikes year after year? We have all seen it in the news. There are systemic issues statewide driving the rapid acceleration of health insurance and utility costs. However, the decision of a historic Boonton Town Council cohort to pursue a large pilot program roughly a decade ago is hurting everyone in this community greatly today. I'm happy to share the data that I recently uncovered from New Jersey's Department of Community Affairs, which utilized 2023 tax data. I have copies for everyone. When compared to neighboring towns' pilot programs, our pilot program had a 3 times larger assessed value, a 6 times larger pilot value as a percent of total assessed town value, and a 9 times larger municipal subsidy as a percent of the 2023 budget appropriation. The pilot billing is $850,000, while the potential total taxes billed at the 2023 rate could have been $1,480,639, according to this NJ Department of Community Affairs. I can only imagine now how much tax revenue we're losing. In addition to this tax sweetheart deal, Boonton schools have taken on a couple dozen students from this pilot. With increased student populations and no accompanying tax revenue for 30 years, aside from the developer, who wins? I want to make a direct call to you all, our elected representatives, to decline all potential pilot explorations now and in the future. When I was very new to Boonton, I learned of the Riverwalk pilot exploration. While I didn't personally participate in the fight against this potential pilot, I'm glad others did. As I continued my research, Google directed me to the current lawsuit the town is fighting to defend its 4th round prospective housing element and fair share plan against Riverwalk and the New Jersey Builders Association. You can Google it easily. Riverwalk LLC versus Town of Boonton.
3 minutes. That's it. You're done.
Thank you. This is not a party line issue. Please consider.
Thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public?
So this is about Rainbow Pride.
Can you just
So-
introduce yourself, please?
I'm Alexandra Lopez. I live on Reserve Street. I'm a student from Boonton High School. I think if we fly the Pride flag during Pride Month, it shows that our town supports people who don't always feel accepted. For people in the LGBTQ community and really anyone who feels like they don't belong, it's a sign of safety. It shows that this is a place where you can be yourself and still be respected. That's important, especially in times we're living in. I understand that the American flag is meant to represent all of us, but flying the Pride flag for 1 month is a way of making that inclusion visible. It does not replace the American flag. It supports what it stands for. Raising the flag for 1 month out of the year doesn't take anything away from anyone. It won't harm anyone. It's a small gesture that can mean a lot to people who need to who need to feel seen and supported. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. Mama. Any other members of the public? Then I would defer to the ones that were written in. I think we can probably summarize them.
Yes,
Oh.
well,
Or do you want to make a comment?
I mean, I'm just gonna make a motion that we read them in their entirety. I've done it every time they've been there.
That's fine.
Whether or not,
Okay.
yep, so I'm gonna make a motion that we read the emails in their entirety with apologies to the clerk.
A second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nay.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
we received 24. The one is Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. You were elected to represent the people of Boonton, not to judge their personal and sincerely held beliefs. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Vote no on ordinance 11-26. And that's from Mariana Staley. And now, also submitting the same exact wording were Katie Funstein, Seamus Flaherty, Michael Luberto, Candace Haskell, Cornelius and Candace Haskell, Mary McMahon, and Dylan McMahon. Then there were some others that were similar, but not quite the same. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, I am a longtime resident of Boonton. I have raised a family here and enjoy the community and town life. My son is on the volunteer fire department and loves it. I am concerned about the proposed ordinance on this evening's agenda because I think it will divide the community. Please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. You were elected to represent the people of Boonton, not to judge their personal and sincerely held beliefs. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Vote no on ordinance 11-26. Sincerely, Siobhan Kelly. Dear Mayor and Town Council, I have been living in Boonton for 25 years. I love the town and the community. I do not like to see it divided. Please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. You were elected to represent the people of Boonton, not to judge their personal and sincerely held beliefs. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Vote no on ordinance 11-26. That sincerely, William Kelly. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, we love and value the beautiful town of Boonton and spend the majority of our time here between our children's schools and our parish. Because of that, we visit town shops and stores frequently. Please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. You were elected to represent the people of Boonton, not to judge their personal and sincerely held beliefs. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Vote no on ordinance 11-26. Thank you so much for reading. Sincerely, Carissa Van Fleet. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, thank you for your service to our community. I'm writing to respectfully urge you to vote no on any ordinance that would politicize our town's flagpole. There is only one flag that unites all of us, our American flag. For this reason, I strongly request that you vote no on ordinance 11-26. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thomas and Kelly Krolikowski. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. You are elected to represent the people of Boonton, not any special interest. There is only one flag that unites all of us, and that is the American flag. Any other special interest flag, even if it is a cause that I support, would not reflect everyone in Boonton and would be a mistake. Also, if there is one special interest flag that opens that door for any and all other special interest flags to be demanded, it is incredibly slippery slope. This outcome can easily be prevented by voting no. Sincerely, Matthew Krause. And then
Doris and Juan Yanez say vote no on flag ordinance. John Yanez says vote no on flag ordinance. Please be advised that I oppose any flag other than governmental flags to be flown on government, federal, state, local flagpoles. From Carl Sperano. As a lifelong resident of Boonton, I am against an ordinance that would allow the flying of the LBGQT flag on the same pole as the American flag. The rules for flying the American flag are very specific about what other flags can share the pole, and Boonton should follow the lead established by the federal and state laws on this matter. The flagpole should not be a vehicle of expression for political and social groups. That's from Monica Scazafava. Dear council members, the town's flagpole should be used only to display flags of our nation, state, local municipalities. I recognize that the American flag and perhaps the New Jersey flag is offensive to many people, but nevertheless, I believe that our common citizenship should be recognized publicly to remind us of the part we all play in the future welfare of our country. This is an important message, and I believe that our flagpoles must be dedicated to that and no other purpose. Thank you, Alberta Mora. Mayor and council, I understand there is a proposed ordinance being considered at tonight's May 4th meeting. Mayor and council members, to allow other than the American flag and POW MIA flags on Boonton public flagpoles or buildings. I believe this will open up a can of worms and lead to unnecessary litigation from those who may be denied the same opportunities. The money that would undoubtedly be needed to fight all claims is a waste of taxpayer money that should be used to better the town for all taxpayers and residents in many areas of need. This will also break with tradition in our town for over 159 years. Private flags belong on private property, so I trust you will vote no on this ordinance. That's from Anthony Scazafava. I'm a Boonton resident writing to ask my council members to vote no on the flag ordinance. We strongly prefer to keep our town flagpoles a sign of unity by only flying the American flag. Thank you, Isaac Wash. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flagpoles. Recent court cases show the slippery slope when other flags are approved to be flown on public property. This issue was already settled with the last ordinance put in place and has kept the peace since then. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Please vote no on ordinance 11-26. That's from Elizabeth Krause. This is my no vote on flag ordinance. The only flags that should fly in government property are the American flag, state of New Jersey flag, branches of U.S. military, and POW MIA flags. Thank you, Kelly Shields. Okay, let me get a sip of water. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, please vote no on any ordinance that would politicize town flags. We are a small town with big hearts. We love our neighbors with our shared views and despite our differing views. As elected officials, you should represent all the people of Boonton. Please do not favor or discriminate based on our personal and sincerely held beliefs. In addition, opening the town flagpoles to the possibility of flying more than just our national flag would create unnecessary administrative and financial burden to the town. It could create the need for someone to vet various proposed flags. Who would be the judge to decide which flags are appropriate or not? Someone would need to coordinate when which flags are flown and someone else to handle the work of switching the flags and storing them. As I understand, our town budget is already tight. Where will the money come from to purchase flags, assuming more and more groups will want to fly a flag to advocate for themselves? Pay for additional storage space and the extra time someone needs to spend vetting, scheduling, and handling the various flags. This would only open the door to further sow division and would implicate our elected officials in showing favoritism for one specific political ideology over another. Please do not play into identity politics. Please do not vote for spreading unnecessary division or unnecessary added financial and administrative burdens. Please keep this town united under one flag and continue your duties to represent all of the people in our town. There is only one flag that unites us, our American flag. Vote no on ordinance 11-26. Sincerely, Sandy Larimer. Dear Mayor and Boonton Council, please vote no to any proposed ordinance that would politicize Boonton's flagpoles, specifically ordinance 11-26. The United States flag is displayed at our local, state, and federal buildings because it is the one flag that unites us all. So many have made the ultimate sacrifice for the country it represents. To add other flags for any reason, but especially as a suggestion that the flag does not represent all, denigrates this. Thank you. Thank you, Lloyd Martinson. And members of the Boonton Town Council, as a resident and neighbor and a retired Army officer, I urge you to uphold ordinance 14-23. This ordinance is not merely a set of rules, it is a safeguard for our community's unity. Currently, our town hall flies the flag of our nation, our state, our country, and our town. These symbols belong to every single citizen of Boonton, regardless of race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. They are the ultimate inclusive symbols because they represent the us that transcends our differences. When we begin to elevate the flags of specific subgroups at Town Hall, we do not foster inclusion, we invite division. By choosing which groups to highlight, the town inherently chooses which groups to exclude, inadvertently creating a hierarchy of identity that breeds animosity. Town Hall should be the one place where we set aside our individual labels to focus on what binds us together as a community. In the military, we fought and bled under a single flag. We didn't focus on the distinctions that set us apart because that would have weakened us and put us all at risk. Our strength as a town relies on that same principle. Every citizen has the right and the freedom to fly any flag they choose at their private residence. But here at the heart of our local government, we must remain focused on our shared identity. We are Americans, New Jerseyans, and Newtonians. No further distinction is necessary, and no further distinction should be made by a body that represents us all. I ask you to lead with the vision of a united Boonton. Keep our flags focused on our shared heritage and our common future. Keep us united. Respectfully, Randall Campbell. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Okay.
I think some of those letters gave these guys 2 shots of speaking.
Well, it was a little late. The cat was out of the bag. Anyway, I'll try to answer your questions. Dog parks come up a number of times. We're strapped for budgets. We'll mention it to our recreation department. I don't really see that happening anytime soon. They've been talking about a community garden for years. And I'm more of a gardener than a dog lover, so we're going with that for now. By the way, Washington Street, we have our police committee chair here, Daniel Cascone, will be on the next agenda for a police committee meeting. Recycling, we have a proposed ordinance that's kind of in the works. We've been kind of monopolized by the budget, which is, all consuming for the Finance Personnel and Administration Committee. So we'll probably address what we can do about recycling. We're trying to have perhaps containers townwide, because when bags get put out, and then when people don't put bags out, it becomes a mess. And we understand how windy and, for those of us, the 100+ people that came out on the Green Team sponsored garbage pickup, we picked up a ton of garbage, but there's a lot more and it's recurring. Railroad Society, thank you. I think you guys do a wonderful job in town. Your vehicle showed up at the car show without any money. I paid their entry, and I also awarded them the mayor's trophy. So thank you.
There you go.
Ordinance 1026, property for sale. There's a narrow, like almost a pathway between 2 homes. One of the property owners approached us about, we're not using it, we sell it. and we decided to sell it. It was, I think, valued at the minimum $10,000. If they, either one of them wants to bid on it, you know, it's not really of use to anybody else. It's not buildable. It's not non-conforming. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. The sewer system. We have very significant and erratic increases in our sewer charges. We're one of 7 or 9 members of the RVRSA. And when it rains, our sewer usage goes up because of infiltration. So what we're trying to do is line some of the problem areas. So when we have water in town from a rain, it doesn't infiltrate and we don't get charged for treating that water. I think there's supposed to be a meter when the sewage comes in town and when it leaves town, and we get charged for the difference. So this is hopefully decrease the infiltration, so we only pay for what gets flushed rather than what comes from storm sewers. I thank you all for the comments on the flag ordinance. This was really just introduction. There will be a public hearing next week. I would encourage anybody and everybody, regardless of what side you're on, you have an opportunity to come and speak pro or against it at the next meeting. 2 weeks, I'm sorry, 2 weeks. 18th would be May 18th. And regarding the comment, professional services, we had a cyber issue and we don't know what the costs are going to be. So we had to hire an attorney to deal with that. So perhaps we could have done a range, but we have no sense what it's going to be. Thank you all for coming. It's quite a lengthy and very interactive meeting. Thank you all. I call for motion to adjourn.
Second, Balin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My average time.
Now I gotta check the basketball score, because the one nights we gotta get out here early.